What's up, Ken folk? Back here with another episode of Bubba and the Old Man. Obviously, we had the spring game yesterday, and obviously, they didn't show a whole lot. Very vanilla, kind of boring. Really hard to get a grasp on anything. There was quite a few players that didn't play or wasn't even there. And I guess we'll find out about the ones that wasn't even at the game, in the weeks to come.
All in all, it was pretty much everything you'd expect from an 8A game. Very uneventful. Didn't show too much.
Yeah, I mean it was pretty vanilla, boring. I thought Bo looked like he's been working on his footwork. Working on trying to stay in the pocket, and move the pocket, function within the pocket. I thought Demetrius Davis, the opportunities he was given to throw the ball downfield, I thought he looked really good. I thought he had by far the best pass of the play. I believe it was Elijah Canyon on the receiving end of a deep pass that got dropped when he went to the ground. Grant Lloyd, I believe that was his name.
Yeah.
He looked like shit.
Well, he looked like Grant Lloyd.
Yeah.
Everything you
I don't know why they gave him so many snaps.
We all know he's not going to end up
being, I don't know him as a person. As a football player, he reached his peak in high school.
Yeah, not a Power 5 quarterback. Not really going to get many NFL chances.
No.
He's everything you'd expect from a guy named Grant Lloyd.
Defense looked good.
Swarming
to the ball, but still very vanilla. They had the takeaway, which really makes me happy. That's been an area I thought Auburn needed to work on and get better at, was getting the ball from the offense. Secondary played good, All in all, it was a very vanilla, very boring game. I thought it could have been a little better. I believe, watching it, I don't believe they ever went ones versus ones, and that's what I, was really excited about.
Yeah.
I believe the whole day was ones versus twos.
Well, basically, it's an 8A game. You don't want anybody getting hurt.
No, but, you really don't know what you got. I mean, I thought Lee Hunter getting in the backfield versus the ones, I thought that was real impressive, run stuff and nose tackle.
Well, I'm sure they'll be doing 1v1s in practice.
I'm sure they will too.
8A game is basically just a scrimmage for the fans. Just everybody comes, enjoys themselves, sees the campus. That's last thing. Every time we went to the 8A game, unfortunately, we didn't get to go this year. But every time we went to the 8A game, the game was usually not the best part. It was usually meeting the players or eating at Gigi's Cupcakes or, taking pictures, seeing the campus.
Yeah. It was very lackluster, in my opinion, the game was.
Sean Shivers popped off.
Yeah, I mean, there were little bright spots sprinkled in here and there, but it was very boring, very vanilla.
Yeah.
Very vanilla. The offensive play calling was like what you'd see at a rec league football team.
Yeah, you don't want to show too much. Like the Alabama 8A game, not good at all. It didn't hold my attention at all.
Yeah. But, you expect it. And
literally all we want to see in this
Tank, taking the opening kickoff 100 yards or however many yards. I don't think that was part of the plan.
It wasn't.
But it happened.
Basically, all we were going into this game we were looking for was Bo showing improvement. What do our quarterbacks look like? What do the freshmen look like? Are the receivers running the right routes?
Sometimes they did. Sometimes it looked like they didn't.
Well, Harson's only been there since December.
Yeah, I mean, and he's only had, 15 practices?
Yeah.
14 practices, however many practices they get. But like I said, very vanilla, boring, but you could see, a little improvement in Bo's footwork, in him making a conscious decision to stay in the pocket rather than my number one option's not open, let me bolt. He was checking it down.
Well, Bo, it's like they have to pretty much break him down and build him all the way back up. Because outside of the off-script plays they'd have, which would blow your freaking mind, his quarterback, the IQ, the arm talent's always been there. But the IQ and the footwork just wasn't there, so they got to break it down, build it back up, tweak his throwing motion. I believe it's not great, but if he could just stay in the pocket, make the right read, and then every now and again do the crazy, wacky rollout, throw it in the back of the end zone like he did today.
Yeah, I really wish Demetrius Davis and Garnett, would have got more opportunities than Grant Lloyd getting so many opportunities.
Well, he's the number two quarterback as of right now. It's just because he's been there longer.
Yeah, and
Demetrius ain't been here that long. Garnett, I don't know why he didn't get hardly any playing time.
Yeah, it got frustrating watching Grant Lloyd go out there and stink up the joint.
Yeah.
I mean, if that is our second best quarterback, we better hope and pray that nothing happens to Bo.
Yeah. Well, I just think Grant Lloyd had more time with the playbook than Demetrius has. Grant Lloyd has more experience in college football than Demetrius and Garnett do. So I just think it was basically just, you've been here longer, you go out and play.
Yeah.
We know Demetrius is a lot more talented. We know Demetrius is probably a better quarterback right now.
Yeah. I hope that's all it is. And I hope that, Grant Lloyd gets moved down the depth chart.
Oh, he will.
Because
he won't be dressing out by regular season.
That showing, in my opinion, was horrible. And I don't mean to keep piling on the kid. I really don't, but it did not look good.
Looked like Hudson Mason out there. Shivers looked great, which is fantastic.
Defense was running around with their hair on fire.
It was everything you'd expect from a spring game. We didn't expect a lot more, did we?
No. I expected everything to be vanilla, but I expected more. Well, not more. I expected the quarterback snaps to be divided up better. Like, I expected Bo to come out after halftime, no pads on.
Yeah, we should have.
And then give Davis a chance to run the ones and put Garnett with the number twos, and then swap it, put Garnett with the ones and Davis with the twos. That I expected more of that. I guess that's the only thing I can say that I really expected. I didn't expect to see 50 points.
I did. The little jet sweep, I didn't expect to see any of that, any misdirection or anything. I basically, the most crazy thing I expected to see was us to come out without two tight ends with a offset back. We didn't see anything crazy. I didn't expect to see anything crazy. A lot of guys weren't even there.
Yeah. The one I guess the other than the Davis deep pass, the other pass that really I thought was really good was when Bo hit Kenyon in the back of the end zone. Was it Kenyon?
I can't remember.
I believe it was.
There was no names on the back of the jerseys.
But anyhow, he hit him in the back of the end zone, and he made a all hands, very, very good coverage, made a good catch. You know.
How often did we freaking see that before Harsin got here? And a receiver actually using good form.
Yeah. I mean, that was impressive.
But look, this is not how it's going to look in the regular season whatsoever.
No, because there were some sacks that we know Bo is athletic enough to get out of. You know.
Yeah, but I expect this season everything's going to look completely different than what we've ever seen.
Yeah, it was nice to see Bo kind of get hemmed in and step up, you know, climb the pocket instead of run.
Yeah, stuff like that just never happened before.
Yeah. You know, so.
You know, it was a spring game. Not much to talk about. It was a glorified scrimmage.
Yeah.
There was probably more variety in the scrimmages.
Yeah. There's really not a lot to talk about on the recruiting front either, because I think this is the first spring game they've had where we're still under the dead period, ain't it? They couldn't talk to the recruits. They couldn't spend the night. Or they could, but, you know, they couldn't talk to nobody. You know, there was no recruiting going on.
We all know the tampering, it happens.
I guess. I don't
NCAA,
know that it happens. I'm not a recruit.
We all know that the NCAA ain't going to tap into Brian Harson's phone. Brian Harson's talking to recruits right now, I guarantee it.
Yeah, well.
Nick Saban, he's mastered it. He ain't never been caught.
So, you brought him up. So, the question was addressed to Nick Saban on how long he's going to be at Alabama, because he's 69 now. He'll turn 70 during the season. And he said Coach Saban's going to be at Alabama as long as he makes a positive contribution.
Yeah.
He said there's still a ton of gas in the tank.
Yeah, man, that dude. He is gonna grind until there's nothing left to grind. I feel he could end up being there. Oh God, when did Johnny Major leave Tennessee? How old was he?
I don't know.
Sadly, Auburn fans ain't gonna like this. Nick Saban could be there 15 more years if he really wants to.
I don't see 15. Does that put him at 84, 85?
Well, I mean, Nick
I
Saban,
could see him 5 to 7 more.
if he wouldn't have become more innovative, became a more offense-heavy team, he'd have been gone 5 years ago. But he's
I
adapted.
agree.
He went and got Sarkisian. You know, he got
Lane
Kiffin.
Kiffin, yeah.
Now he's got Bill O'Brien. Sucked as a head coach.
In
Sucked
the
as a
NFL.
GM. But man,
He was a good head coach in college.
Yeah. But man, is he a heck of a play caller? You know, Nick Saban just keeps pulling these dudes out the league. You know, Lane Kiffin, head coach in the league over the Raiders. You know, Sarkisian, offensive coordinator, Falcons. Now he's got Bill O'Brien.
Yeah. I mean, I hate to say it, but like I said, I could see him being around another 5 to 7 years.
I don't know about 5 to 7. I mean, I think he could hit double digits. I think he could go 10 more. As long as he can walk up and down the sidelines and he can still scream, he will be in college football.
Yeah, I hate it as a Auburn fan, but I mean, the dude he just wins. I mean, you know, I've said for years, you know, I don't think Nick Saban could win playing Power 5, start a season to end a season. What did he do this past year?
It's COVID year, man, but...
What did he do, though? It was a Power 5 schedule beginning to end.
Yeah, SEC schedule.
Yeah, it was a 10-game SEC schedule.
Then he went...
2 games in the playoffs.
Freaking Notre Dame. They get there and then they just...
Wet the bed.
Yep, they just let loose. Man.
I mean, you know, I hate it, but I mean, he's got to be up there with the GOATs. I mean, and he's still doing it.
He's 69 and he's in as good health as 50-year-old man.
As good a health as me or you.
Well, better than us.
Yeah, I'm fat.
I am too. But as long, like I said, until he can't walk and he can't scream, he'll be there. And he'll, that makes me less aroused than Bill Cosby in a room full of sober women. It's terrible.
But, we're going to have to deal with it.
We beat them every few years.
If everything I read on Harsin is correct, he's a very, very organized coach, a very meticulous coach. And if he can get, take where he's at with his recruiting to the next level, he can compete.
He can.
He can compete. I think he could compete if his recruiting doesn't grow to the next level with kind of like a Wisconsin or a Michigan State, to where they get lower starred players in, develop them, and like every 3-4 years, boom, they're the best team in the conference.
Yeah.
But to be a consistent contender year in and year out, he's got to take his recruiting to the next level.
A lot of people think I compare Coach Harsin to Brad Stevens in the sense that I don't know if he gets these low recruits who they gotta scratch and claw their way up. How is Harsin going to deal with 5-star recruits?
Yeah.
Who have been great since the day they set foot on a football field. He's got to adapt, and that's where Brad Stevens kind of falls off. He got Kyrie Irving, couldn't win. He's got to be able to put fire under these 5-star recruits that we're going to end up getting, and make them work like a 2 or 3-star recruit, a Doug Martin, an Alexander Madison, a Jay Ajayi coming out of high school.
Yeah.
I don't know if any of that made sense, but
well, it does. And see, at Alabama, it's work or lose your job.
Yeah.
Because there's a 5-star sitting right behind you.
But it takes a special kind of coach like Nick Saban those players are going to respect him regardless. I'm trying to, like Gus, I don't know, they loved him, but it takes like
they wasn't going to lose their job.
Yeah, it takes
There was no fear in Bo's eyes that he was going to lose his job last year.
Like it's
Duke Williams, there was no fear that he was going to lose his job. He just kept getting in trouble, and then, finally it gets to a point to where Gus can't ignore it, so he had to kick him off the team.
Yeah, Boobie Whitlow, he kept fumbling and fumbling
and kept missing class, and he played the whole season and walked away on his own.
Yeah. But it takes a special kind of coach to earn that level of respect, to be the way that a Bill Belichick is able to talk to his players. Like Bill Belichick talking to Tom Brady the way he did. Like Matt just tried to do it. He's the league's biggest douchebag now.
Yeah.
Nobody really likes him. Like he tried to walk into that Lions building like Bill Belichick.
Right.
But Bill Belichick scratched and clawed his way up to the top to get that job. And he was lucky he got that opportunity because went to the Browns, got fired, went to the Jets, got fired like 2 days after he got the job.
Yeah, but he built that Browns team, which became that Ravens team that won that first Super Bowl.
Yeah.
That was Belichick's work, sweat, tears, blood, that built that team that won that Super Bowl.
I guarantee you, not just any defense coordinator could have talked to Lawrence Taylor the way Bill Belichick did. He had to earn that respect. You can't just walk in and get it. It's like teachers. They just expect you to respect them because I'm older than you and I got this job. That's not how it works. That's when teachers get beat up. That's when teachers lose their job because all their kids are failing because nobody respects them.
I guess.
Yeah.
It's been a long time since I've been in a classroom.
Yeah. And I guarantee you if a teacher just walked in and was immediately an asshole to you, you would lose all respect for them because they haven't earned your respect yet.
Well, I live my life. I give everybody a certain amount of respect.
Until
Anything beyond that is earned.
yeah, like it's like a stepdad. He can't just walk into a house with a wife that has a pre-started family and talk to everybody like he runs that house. He has to earn it, right?
I guess.
All that makes sense.
I guess.
Did Lil Papa just walk in and start yelling at you day one?
I was 3-4 years old, man.
Well, I didn't know you were that young.
Yeah.
Well,
I was young.
yeah, but Uncle David didn't just walk into Aunt TT and Davian's house and just start yelling at people.
No, but that's a completely different situation because you have that dating period and everything leading up to that. It's not just a.
I know it's not apples to apples comparison.
Yeah.
But it's similar.
Anyhow, I guess, in some way it makes sense because these coaches go and recruit these players and then they have them as coaches,
Yeah.
I guess the best way I could say it is Byron Cowart recruited heavily, comes to Auburn, Rodney Garner coaches him hard from day one, and he didn't like it.
Yeah, and there's certain people like those 5-star recruits. They expect to be pampered, and that's not the way it works in Power 5 football. Tua Tagovailoa just walked in and he wasn't just pampered, otherwise he wouldn't be as great as he is.
It's yet to see if he's great at the NFL level.
Talk about in college.
He was real good at throwing slants.
And he's accurate, pinpoint with it.
I guess. Anyhow, Nick Saban is going to be there for the foreseeable future.
Yeah, I don't know how we got off on this,
But he's going to be there for the foreseeable future. I don't know if it's any relevance to any Auburn fans. It was relevant to me because Coach Hars is going to have to recruit against him. He's going to have to coach against him year in, year out.
Yeah. That's what he expected that when he walked into the SEC. You got to play those guys.
You got to beat the best to be the best.
Mm-hmm. Just going to sit here and stare at each other.
Mm-hmm.
Where do we go from here? We didn't plan this out.
The draft is coming up.
Yeah, 11 days.
11 days.
So,
we know who the first pick is.
Do you think, let me ask you this question. Any shot Justin Fields goes number 2?
No.
Not a single shot.
No.
I think Zach Wilson got it in the bag.
Yep. I think the Jets are going to ruin yet another career of a very, very good player.
Now, this is where we differ. I truly believe in Coach Salah going to the Jets.
I understand that. Coach Salah is not the GM. Coach Salah is not making the draft picks.
Yeah, but he walked in.
You got to look at, all right, the team that's across the state, across the hall, however you want to look at it. Judge has a lot of say-so in the draft.
Yeah, and it's crazy that he got that respect coming from a special teams coordinator.
And a wide receivers coach, yes.
Our wide receivers coach had the worst set of receivers in the NFL.
Yeah, well, now you see what Tom Brady was working with. But we don't know if Salah is going to have a whole lot of say-so in what goes into their draft.
It's fly season.
So
I think he really does, because I think he's walking into an organization where they're going to hand him the key. He's going to get his quarterback. He's going to get. Oh my God, I can't remember the name of that OC. Do they have a new OC yet? I don't know. It's the Jets, so. But he's
I
gonna.
think they got LaFleur.
Is it Michael LaFleur?
Yeah.
Might be Michael LaFleur. Zach Wilson's walking into a situation where they're rebuilding the offensive line currently. Mekhi Becton, when he was on the field, when he was healthy, he looked great.
Was a beast.
Was a beast.
But can he stay healthy?
I believe he can, and King Dunlap proved that. He was big dude. And I think Zach Wilson's walking into a situation where it's much more stable than it was under the regime of Adam Gase.
Well, I will agree. Adam Gase was a train wreck.
I don't know how he got another job.
I don't either. But the Jets organization, it seems like it's just bad decision after bad decision after bad decision. I mean, and I was on board. I thought the Rex Ryan hire was a great hire.
He worked out pretty solid.
Yeah, but then they shit canned him.
Yeah, and I don't know if they just thought that he wasn't worth it anymore, what they were paying him, what he was asking for. But then he went to Buffalo. He went to the playoffs with Tyrod Taylor.
Yeah, I mean,
I think the Salah hire might actually be kind of similar to Rex Ryan. You know, you got a defensive-minded coach who's going to walk in there. He's going to get the respect of the players. He worked great in San Francisco, built a dominant defense. They're interested in bringing in Richard Sherman currently, so that's going to help the defense. And their defense ain't even really that bad.
No, they get some players back. They get Mosley back this upcoming season.
They got Q, Quinn Williams, the dude that. I wonder if y'all saw that interview. He sneezed, blessed himself, and then thanked himself. Interesting dude. Pretty undersized for his position, actually.
Yeah, but he's dominant.
Yeah, he's a great defender. You know, Marcus May and Ashton. Oh my God, what's his name from Cal? This Ashton dude. They did pretty solid at safety. It's going to be a few years, but I think they'll build up a solid team. Now, Mac Jones. I think he's going number 3.
It could be smoke. It really could, because a lot of the coaching staff that is on the Jets right now come from the 49ers. LaFleur,
Mike LaFleur,
Salah, you know, so the 49ers could be like, yeah, Mac Jones, that's our guy.
I just feel like it's...
Well, hang on. And they could be putting that out there to try and make LaFleur, Salah say, well, if they think he can run their system, we're going to run the same system. So they draft him, and then bam, the Niners get their player they want, Zach Wilson.
You know, it might be the scenario where 49ers are playing checkers, Jets are playing chess, and it might be doing that, but I don't think they're that stupid. The Jets are pretty stupid, you know, but they're not that stupid. I was just fearing that the Mac Jones thing is going to end up like the Trubisky thing.
Could very well do it.
Who's going to be the first receiver off the board?
Chase.
You think he's on 5th?
Yeah, I think the Bengals are going to screw up and take a receiver.
Hold up. Ain't I the one that said so in our mock draft and you said Chase?
Yeah, because that's what I think the Bengals are going to do.
I don't know what it is about the Bengals. I just like them. I don't know what it is. It might just be Burrow, and I feel like their young core is solid, but...
I mean, you got Tyler Boyd, right?
Well, I mean, it's T. Higgins, the X.
Yeah, it's T. Higgins, Tyler Boyd.
Yeah, him in the slot.
And who else?
Well, right now it's looking like Alden Tate's going to be on the other side. But if Chase comes in, he's probably going to be on the right side.
Yeah, so I mean they got a solid receiving core.
Yeah.
I mean they're not great. They're solid.
Yeah.
Okay. Why not shore up that offensive line?
I think they should. I think they should move Jonah Williams over to right tackle, bring in Sewell at left tackle. Interior's not that bad. Trey Hopkins is a solid center. He's okay, Quentin Spain, they brought him in. He played decent at guard. And then the left guard, they could just figure something out, or right guard, depending on which position Quentin Spain plays.
So who's the right tackle now?
Oh, dear Jesus. Is it Bobby Hart? Might be Bobby Hart.
I don't know. But, you could bring Sewell in and plug him in at guard.
Yeah, but why take a guard at 5? I mean,
I'm not saying he's going to be a guard.
I know, but, I think Penei Sewell will probably walk in day one, be an all-pro guard, but it's a guard.
Do you think that the Slater hype train jumps in ahead of Sewell?
It could. I think he's more developed than Sewell. Sewell,
I think right now he might be the better player. Right now.
yeah, right now, if you want a sure thing, I think Rashawn Slater's your guy. Even if he sucks at tackle, move him into guard. But I like Slater. I think Penei Sewell has the chance to be a legendary tackle.
Orlando Pace level.
Maybe. He's a freakish athlete.
Yeah. For all of y'all that don't know who Orlando Pace is, look him up. I believe he went his entire career in the NFL, never gave up a sack.
I think Bach ain't got a sack in his career yet either. Maybe one or two.
Orlando Pace, beast.
He is a beast.
Was a beast.
Was a beast.
But do you think Kyle Pitts goes 4?
Oh,
Or do you think the Falcons trade back?
I think the Falcons should trade back.
No, I mean not what they should do. Do you think they do trade back, or do you think they stay there? If they stay there and 3 quarterbacks come off the board, the pick has to be Pitts. Yeah. You got Julio Jones, you got Calvin Ridley,
Russell Cage.
You got 3 good receivers, one great when he's on the field. You don't need Jamar Chase, Devonta Smith.
Yeah, I think Pitts would be solid. Just keep piling onto that offense and hope the defense is just, they don't die.
Yeah. Get one stop because we're scoring every possession.
I hope, for the sake of Falcon fans, that one quarterback in the top 3 falls to them. Whether it be Fields, maybe even, Mac Jones. Why not,
I don't think they're picking a quarterback this year.
They might.
I think best case scenario, if they can't find a trade that they like trading back, sit there, take Kyle Pitts, and just tell the NFL, fuck defense, we're going to score 50 a game. If you can beat us. And it gives them a weapon that nobody can cover.
Yeah, I think Matt Ryan might have 1 or 2 years left in him.
His contract says he's there until he don't want to be.
Yeah,
or it runs out.
They have an out in 2 years or something, where they'll cut him only $28 million in dead cap. Only $28 million apparently. Is only, but I think he has 1 or 2 more Pro Bowl years in him. Why not? Just why not? At this point, they're stuck in cap hell. They got a linebacker in Deion Jones who's phenomenal. They got Grady Jarrett at D tackle. They got the big boy Marlon Davidson out there. So why not just turn into a pass only offense? What's it gonna hurt? Todd Gurley's gone. So why not just line up 5 wide every single play and throw the football? Turn into the Mike Leach of the NFL.
Well, I mean, who's covering Kyle Pitts?
Well, I mean, you can say the same thing about Evan Ingram. Who can cover him? Who?
Yeah, but Evan Ingram helps coverage by dropping the ball or knocking it up in the air to be intercepted.
Kyle Pitts, he's not even a tight end in my opinion.
Oh no, he's a weapon.
That's just a straight up weapon right there.
You got 6, the Dolphins. Do you think they reunite Devonta or Jalen with Tua?
Again, why not? I think Tua is the future out there as long as he can stay on the field. Tua's the type of guy like a Derek Carr. He can get hot one time, or a Joe Flacco, you know, a sustainable Joe Flacco. You know, he gets hot one time, you're in the Super Bowl. You know, they already got a great defense out there. So, I think the Devonta Smith, if they can put some pounds on that boy, you know, get him to where he won't just die on the field. If
He
gets
ain't
hit,
gonna die on the field. So you got to look at, he's got 4 years of production in the SEC without a bad injury.
So,
I think he broke his thumb.
that you know, it's a completely different game in the NFL. I'm not doubting his talent.
It's not that far from the SEC as far as contact goes.
Aren't you the same one that told me that even the New York Jets would blow out the 2019 Alabama team by like 30?
Yeah.
Yeah, that. I'm sure most people are going to agree with that.
I'm talking about contact-wise.
Dad,
I mean,
he's a ticking time bomb, just like Joe Burrow was. He's a ticking time bomb.
No, yeah, until he goes off and blows up and destroys the NFL.
Yeah, and Dad, we all knew Joe Burrow was probably going to end up getting hurt. He doesn't slide. The offensive line is not good.
So
I'm just saying.
I
he
think
has
one
the
day-
bad weight.
I think one day we could be sitting here on our podcast and I could look you in your eyes and go, name me a receiver better than Devonta Smith, and you would have to say, there isn't one.
Just like Julio, he's brittle. When Julio's on the field, he's top 5.
Son, Julio wasn't injury prone his entire career.
I know, but like as of late, the hits have caught up with him, and he's not 160 pounds.
Son, this kid runs routes better.
I don't know why you're arguing his ability. I'm not arguing ability.
He runs routes going into the NFL better than Devontae Adams run routes going into the NFL.
Yeah.
He's got hop-like hands, and he's got DK speed.
Dad, why are you arguing ability? I never doubted his ability. I'm arguing he's too skinny.
Marvin Harrison was skinny.
So, was he 160 pounds?
Yeah, well, and I don't know how much the kid weighs, but I'm telling you, they list him at 175.
He's not. We both
I haven't put in a scale down and said, hey, Mr. Smith, would you please stand on this?
Dad, I don't
So all I can go by is what I read.
All right, Tua. We knew he was injury prone.
Yeah.
And somebody's going to take a chance on Devonta Smith.
Yeah, why
And
not?
he's going to, Dad, you're hitting me with the why not. I have a valid reason.
So you would be the GM that would pass on what could be the best wide receiver
Where am I
in the
picking at?
NFL in 5 years.
Where am I picking at?
Well, right now we're picking at 6.
All right, 6. Who's there? Is Sewell there?
Yeah.
Who else is there?
Parsons,
Well,
Waddle, Surtain, Horn.
What team am I?
The Dolphins.
Okay, the Dolphins.
That's who we're talking about. We said, are the Dolphins going to reunite Smith or Waddle with Tua? Or do I need to rewind this?
The facts are the facts. He's 160 pounds. He has to put on weight. I will gladly take him if I can get him up to 185. If I can get him up to 195.
You put pounds on, you shed speed.
Well,
that's just a fact.
He's not a speed, and he does not have DK level speed. I think 4.45 speed. He's good. He's good speed, but I'd much rather have Dad. D Hop. I think he ran like 4.6. Does it matter? Jerry Rice ran like a 4.69. It doesn't matter the speed. His ability.
Sonny's got speed though.
Yeah, he does have speed. And it's not like Devonta had to cut back his pounds because he kept getting injured because he was too heavy. It's the same thing with Devonta Smith. If I can get him up to 185, I don't care about his speed. As long as he's not like 25% body fat or something. As long as put him on a diet, 4,000 calories a day, and try and limit his cardio, up his weight training. And I think if I know by game one I can have him at 185, I'll gladly take him.
Why does it matter?
Because, Dad, when you have this much fat over your bones, is that going to project anything?
Son, if he shows me he can't play without getting hurt, then gladly put weight on it. If he can play without getting hurt, what the fuck does his weight matter?
You're arguing these technicalities, these random technicalities.
I'm not.
Why do you keep arguing how good he is? I know how good he is. I just know he needs to put the weight on. We're arguing the same points, but you're still arguing.
No, I said if he shows me that he can't play without getting hurt, then we'll put pounds on him.
Tariq Cohen's
right now, I see a productive wide receiver who would be the best receiver on my board if Jamar Chase is gone, and I'm taking him.
Yeah, you can take him. Hold up. Tariq Cohen, what's his main problem right now? He's too little. He's too skinny.
He's a running back.
Well, yeah, but he's mainly a wide receiver.
How often is Devonta Smith going to run through the line of scrimmage?
Dad, Tariq Cohen barely runs through the line of scrimmage anymore. He's catching screen passes. He's catching slant passes.
All right, he's still running into defensive linemen, right?
Every now and again.
How many defensive linemen is Devonta Smith going to run into?
He's going to run into linebackers. He's going to run into safeties. Let me think of something right quick. If he's going head on into Harrison Smith, you're not even a little worried he's going to get hurt because he's little.
You can't. You got to let him play.
Yeah, he can play. He can play at 185.
You got to let him play, son. If he shows me he can't play at 175 without getting hurt,
he's 160.
Then we're putting 10 pounds on him.
You're not getting my point.
You're not getting mine.
He looks like he's starving to death. Dad, you got to understand my point here. He's 106. Name one great wide receiver that played at 160.
Son, you're the GM that would have passed every round and not drafted Tom Brady because he had a dad bod.
No, I don't care about his dad bod. It doesn't really matter. I drafted him. Why not? He looked great when he was on the field at Michigan. I don't care. I don't care what a quarterback looks like physically. Aaron Rodgers is not physically appealing, but he's great. Tom Brady, he does the yoga stuff, the resistance bands and stuff. I don't care. He's a quarterback. I would not have passed on Tom Brady. Now, would I have passed on Kyler Murray? Probably.
Has Kyler Murray been significantly injured?
No.
Okay.
Because he knows how to get out of trouble. He doesn't take any hits. As a wide receiver, you can't do that. Would I have passed on Russell Wilson? Maybe, but probably not, because he's nearly 6 foot, and I know he can get out of trouble.
We could argue till the cows come home. You're never gonna open your mind.
I'm opening my mind. I've opened it as much as possible, but I'm scared for his health. What's the problem with that? Why can't I get him in my program? Why take a risk on him ruining his career because his knee ends up inverting and his leg is backwards?
Son,
your whole argument
he's played his entire life.
Dad, your whole argument is why not? You know why not people are? In tents on the side of the road. Because why not spend $2,000 on a watch?
Son, he's played his entire life, never suffered a severe injury. He played for the best college football program in the country, never had a significant injury. There is no, I ain't even gonna say serious, there's no injury fucking history to look at. So why does his weight matter now?
Because he's going into the NFL.
So he shouldn't be drafted because...
No. I'm just saying, if I pick him, I'm putting him on a diet plan that helps him gain weight.
And what if he tells you to take your diet plan, stuff it up your hind knee?
Well, I'll just wait till he gets hurt. Tell him I told you so. Just name me one wide receiver that's over 6 foot. And let's even say 175.
I don't know, son. I don't know how much Megatron weighed.
I think like 220.
I have no idea. I don't know how much Julio weighs. Devonta Adams. D-Hop. I don't know how much none of them weigh. Because I don't give a damn, because the production on the field tells me they can play the game.
Let me ask you a question. Coming out of college, would you have drafted Johnny Manziel?
No.
Why?
Because his game don't translate to the NFL.
And why not?
Too much running, too much reckless throwing.
What about Russell Wilson? What about Steve Young?
There was a difference. When Russell Wilson run, it wasn't reckless throws.
What about Patrick Mahomes?
Didn't really watch him.
No, I'm talking about Patrick Mahomes. Tons of reckless throws.
Like I said, I can't speak because I didn't watch him.
What about Dan Marino?
Dan Marino, all the talent in the world.
Yeah, the same thing with Devonta Smith. Would you have drafted him?
Yeah, I would have drafted Dan Marino.
You would have.
I'd have drafted Dan Marino.
Everything leading up to that point in history proved that Dan Marino's game would not translate.
How do you know?
Exactly my point. How would you know that Johnny Manziel's abilities wouldn't translate to the league?
Because I can look at Johnny Manziel's tape and tell you.
People did it to Dan Marino, and everybody said it wouldn't translate. But you saw the red flags. You saw the red flags.
All it takes is the one.
Yeah, Dad. All it takes is the one.
Gotta hang up.
Yeah, that sucks.
All it takes is the one, son. I mean,
I'm not denying the ability. It's like the investment, like in the stock market. it hits the ultimate low and they tell you to invest all your money in it, and everything's predicated on the chance. You just pray that this doesn't happen and you don't lose everything.
Yeah.
You're just hoping against hope.
Yeah.
Knowing that guys that are 160 pounds in the league don't work. You're just hoping that this is the one.
The paper says 175. That's all we have to go off of.
Well, the paper said that Boogie Cousins was 7 feet. We all know he's 6'9". The paper said KD was 6'8", but we all know he's 7 feet.
That's all we have to go off of. Until you put a scale under him, he's 175.
So Boogie is 7 foot.
Do you have a measuring tape to walk up to him and ask him?
Dad, he's shorter than Kevin Durant, who's listed at 6'8".
Just say it.
Daddy, you're not getting my point. One wrong hit to the knee and his career is gone.
Son, that's every receiver in the game.
But it's much higher of a chance that this is going to happen.
Son,
It's like COVID. It's like COVID. You have a 7-year-old woman who smoked her entire life. You have a 20-year-old dude. They both get COVID. Granny gonna die.
Son, the simple fact of the matter is, every player that suits up in the league is one bad hit away from retirement.
Yeah, that's true. But there's a higher chance of it happening to him. Right? Am I right here?
Why is it higher?
Because there's nothing really protecting him there. There's not a lot of fat there. There's not a lot of muscle there. If I swung a bat and you clenched your leg and clenched everything in your knee and I swung a bat at it and then I did the same thing to Nana. She clenched her leg up, I hit it. Nana's leg's going to break. There's a good chance yours won't.
Nana is damn near 70.
And she's also like 118 pounds. I'm just going based off physicals.
You had no comeback for every player in the NFL is one bad hit away from retirement.
But there's a higher chance of it happening to him.
Every time he has the ball? Yeah. Just like every time Julio has the ball, every time D-Hop has the ball, every time Devonta Adams has the ball, there's a higher chance that hit is going to end their career. You want to know why? Because they have the ball. They're the one being chased.
Yes. Would you be more worried about DK taking a hit to the knee or Devonta?
I wouldn't worry about either one of them, son. The game is violent.
Yeah, we all know that.
For everybody.
Yeah. It's the same as COVID.
At the Miami Dolphins pick, if Devonta Smith is the highest person on my board, I'm taking him, no questions asked.
Okay.
I don't care that he's 175-ish. It does not bother me. I'm not saying he's the exception to the rule, but I'm saying that the chances that he is won't let me pass on him, and let's say, I don't know, Detroit taking him and he has production like Megatron. I'm not willing to take that chance. I think Jalen Waddle's a bigger if in the NFL than Devonta Smith.
That's possible, but
and it has nothing to do with his physical trait. What it has to do with, where does he fit? I'm not taking a kick and punt returner in the first round. I'm not doing it. And that's the one thing I know he can do well.
Wait, Jalen, you were a huge fan of Jalen Waddle.
I am a huge fan of Jalen Waddle. I love his game. Where does he fit?
What do you mean, where does he fit?
Where does he fit? Is he an X?
He can be, yeah. Tyreek Hill can be an X.
I'm saying, can he be the X?
Yes, he can be the X.
You think so?
I'm 100% sure.
Could he be the Y?
Yeah.
Could he be the slot?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know.
I swear our house is not dirty. We just have an open window and flies are coming in. We're not disgusting people. So what do you mean, where does he fit?
I mean, where does he fit? Where does his game? Because I love his game in college.
He's like Deshaun Jackson.
I think that's a very good call.
Deshaun Jackson could be the X, he could be the Y, he could be the slot. He could play running back if he really wanted to.
I don't think I'd put Jalen Waddle running back, but that's a good call.
Yeah, Jalen Waddle can do it all. He's not like Henry Ruggs. He's not just a speed guy. Now, these explosive players do tend to have joint issues. So, that's an option, and that's something that Devonta Smith might not get. Because Devonta is not super explosive. Not saying he's not fast or anything. But he's more of a DeAndre Hopkins type of receiver. He's not going to burn everybody.
You don't have to.
Yeah, because his route running is phenomenal. His hands are phenomenal. The only thing I'm worried about is his injuries.
Waddle's got phenomenal hands. I just, OBJ had that it.
Did OBJ? That's another one. Did OBJ have any injury issues in college?
I don't know. I don't recall.
Yeah, but he has injury issues in the league because he's small.
Okay.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Smaller receivers, skinny receivers. It just.
When? Okay, Tyreek Hill. Deshaun Jackson.
Well, Deshaun Jackson does have tons of injuries. That's why he got cut. He's hurt all the time.
Now, he's like 35.
He's not 35. He's like 32. I just don't trust Devonta Smith to hold up unless he gets up 180, 185, and I'll be happy. I believe one of these days, if he can stay healthy, he'll be one of the top receivers in the league. Maybe the top at one point. But the slim frame bothers me.
So you would pass on him because of his weight?
No, I draft him if he's the best player available, and I put him. I'm not going to make him eat like a jerk or something. I'm not going to make him eat like he's going to die tomorrow.
So you're going to call him, you're going to be, hey. Yeah. You're going to be, hey, Devonta, we thinking about taking you here, but you got to put on some weight.
Yeah, I'm sure it happens all the time.
I'd be like, don't pick me. And hang the phone up.
Well, that's because of your ego. You don't want anybody telling you what to do.
No, it's the simple fact of the matter is, if you can't look at my body of work and that not speak for itself.
Dave, you can be great, but you can still have problems that you need to solve. People, the Packers trainers made Devonta Adams lose weight.
Yeah, but they made him lose weight because he was sitting around while he was hurt pigging out.
What? No, it wasn't. He was just a guy who gains weight easily.
I mean, they cut, or they traded, or what the hell ever, Eddie Lacy because his fat ass liked to eat.
Yeah, because he wouldn't do any extra workouts to make the weight off. So you would just let Eddie Lacy stay on your roster as long as, even though he's been injured multiple times, would you keep him? Even though he played great that beginning of that season, I swear he was at least 250. Through like the first 5 games, he had 350 rushing yards, was averaging over 5 yards a carry. He was still catching the football well out of the backfield. But, if you're 250 pounds, putting that much torque on your body and taking all those hits, it's not going to work.
I'm just saying, son. The only thing I'm saying is, I'm not going to let his weight stop me from making the pick.
I'm not either. I'm just going to put him on a program to make him eat more. Why is that such an issue?
Why does he have to prove anything else that he can stay healthy?
you're preparing in case he does.
So
why do you think these big linemen, these really big ones, let's like 6'8", 350, why do you think they wear knee braces? Because they're big and they don't want to hurt their knees. Because people that big tend to have knee injuries.
okay, is Devonta Smith 6'8"?
No, but it's like the polar opposite. He's so little that you're worried he could get hurt.
So you want to make him wear knee braces now?
I'm not going to make him wear knee braces because he's not fat. Dad, you know what I'm talking about.
Son.
Why won't you? Like, why not try to make him better? Why not try and make it to where you're sure you do everything you possibly can to make sure he doesn't get hurt? No, that's my mom. What I'm talking about is like insurance. You don't ever think you're going to end up having to use it, but you take precautions so that something bad doesn't happen. Like you have car insurance. So just in case you get freaking T-boned, which it probably ain't going to happen, but it's nice to have. It's nice to know that you have insurance. You hope you never have to use it, but it's important to have it.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying, son, but what I'm saying is, until he proves he cannot play it that way, I'm not concerned about it.
Well, Dad, like, do you just expect you to go into some intersection and some drunk driver's just going to hit you? No, and nothing that you've done so far in your life has proven that that's going to happen to you. But you still get the car insurance to insure.
Right, but you start forcing him to do these things, and what if it kills his game?
What do you mean, what if it kills his game?
What if he gets slower? He can't separate as good. So,
Dad, you're acting like I'm telling him to put on 50 pounds. It's just 25 pounds to get him to a normal receiver weight. Him being skinny doesn't do anything for him. What does him being 160 pounds?
do you know for a fact
What?
he's 160 pounds?
He's between 160 and 165.
You know that for a fact.
Well, do you know for a fact he's 175?
No, but I know that's what I read.
Well, so? What does that mean? Okay, let's say 175. I'm asking him to put on 10 pounds. Is that 10 pounds going to kill his game?
We don't know it is.
Well, we don't know if he could go out there and snap his leg up. But it could very well happen. You have life insurance, so if you end up passing away, you know we'll be financially stable. You don't plan on dying anytime soon, but you have to have it so that me, Mom, and Selena don't go under.
Son, all of those points are null and void because he can be productive at the weight he is.
So, I can be productive looking the way I do right now, but I don't want to. I'm a normal functioning member of society.
Son, it has plainly stated in articles that he has tried to put on weight. Just don't happen. He got one of them metabolisms I'd love to have. Because I can walk by the McDonald's or the Taco Bell and gain 10 pounds.
I'm sure. I know for a fact it's not just that he can't gain weight, he's just not eating the right stuff. Him going into an NFL training program. I'm not telling him to go eat Taco Bell 5 times a day.
Son, Ocho Cinco played his entire career, barely lifted and ate McDonald's every day. Did he ever sustain a major injury?
No, but he fell off quick.
That's all because of work ethic.
Like, I'm not telling him to pull an Amari Cooper where he just gets beefed up to where he can't run his routes anymore. Him being 175 pounds is not a trait that will make him better. I know if he gets heavier, though, he won't just fall over if somebody taps him.
Son, we could have this same argument about Tutu Atwell.
Yeah, well, I mean, but
He's
that's
5'9", 155 pounds.
Yeah, well, I mean, we could say the same thing about Trenton Holiday. Do you think Tutu Atwell is going to be a starting wide receiver in the NFL? No, he's a kick and punt returner.
Do you know for a fact he won't be a starting wide receiver?
Not at 5'9", 155 pounds. But even then, at 5'9", 155 pounds is better than 6'2", 170 pounds.
But you act like you know for a fact that Kadarius Toney is going to be.
Well, what is Kadarius Toney? 5'9", 170, 175?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's the same weight. But that's 5 inches shorter.
But it's the same weight.
Well, no. Well, Dad, you being 6'3", 300 pounds, is way different than somebody being 5'8", 300 pounds.
Yeah, they just look a little more round than I do.
No, they can't walk.
Yes, they can.
They waddle. They don't use their knees.
But anyhow, we're hitting a brick wall here.
We're not hitting a brick wall. I just think you ain't hearing me.
I know you're not hearing me.
Name one good thing that comes out of him being that small.
Productivity.
Does any of that productivity can be attributed to him being 170 pounds?
Does any of that productivity state for a fact that he can be that productive at 185?
Dad? Well, I mean, I lost 15 pounds, and my life's the same. If he gains 15 pounds, he'll be the same, but he'll just have more.
Is that going to add a tenth?
A tenth? What?
To his time? 2/10? 3/10?
I just know that if you get shot and Lil Papa gets shot, there's more protecting you than there would be him.
Yeah, but is it going to be the same amount of pain?
Maybe, maybe not. I know if I get shot, my man boob's just going to ricochet it back out.
All right, let's move on.
Well, mock draft. We're going to do a full first round mock draft. All 32 picks.
All right.
My dad already has his.
All right. At 1, Trevor Lawrence. It's obvious.
That's been in the bag since he came out of middle school.
At 2, Zach Wilson. If I'm 100% positive on the number 1 overall pick, I'm 98% positive on this one.
Yeah, I think there's no way they don't take Zach Wilson unless they trade now.
Number 3, I generally live by the rule where there's smoke, there's fire, and there's a lot of smoke around Mac Jones. Would I take him there? No.
I wouldn't either. I don't think he's the third best quarterback in the draft. I think he's probably 5th.
I would take him 15 to 25.
Yeah, probably.
At 4, Kyle Pitts. At 5, if I was the Bengals, I'd take the best offensive lineman available.
Yeah.
But they're going to bungle this and take Jamar Chase.
He's not a bad player by any means, but it's just not the right pick.
It's not. Not in my opinion. Then Devonta Smith to the Dolphins. I think he is arguably the best receiver in this draft.
I agree, but he's just too small for me.
At 7, Jalen Waddle, because Detroit has no receivers.
Yeah, they just let their top 2 ones go.
And the Carolina Panthers are sitting back after trading for Darnold and going, we get the best offensive lineman, arguably in a decade.
I don't know about all that, but he's great. I think he's going to end
up coming into the draft. I mean, I know it's hard to, Stanley with the Ravens, Bach with the Packers. Those are hands down the best 2 tackles in the league.
And as far as offensive linemen go,
you got
Nelson.
Q, who is come in and first year All Pro.
Yeah.
But none of them had the hype Panay Sewell has around them.
I don't know. Some of them boys have some hype on it.
At 9, I went against my better judgment. I think this is a perfect landing spot for Micah Parsons. He can groom behind Von Miller and then step in seamless. But I went Trey Lance.
That's a good pick. Trey Lance has a lot of potential.
Cowboys, I hope they screw this pick up. I pray to everything that Jerry Jones trades up and takes Kyle Pitts, but I fear he will sit tight and take Patrick Surtain and start building that defense. But I hope,
Just the Cowboys, they'll mess it up. So.
I really hope they trade up and take Kyle Pitts because their defense is Swiss cheese.
Yeah, it's terrible.
The New York Giants, we all know Ghetto God loves his hogs. Rashawn Slater. It's not the sexy pick, but it shores up the offensive line. They spent a ton of money in free agency this year, giving Daniel Jones every weapon he needs to succeed. If he don't do it this year, it might be time to move on.
Maybe.
The Eagles, there's smoke that they're trying to get ahead and take Waddle, maybe move up high enough to take Pitts. Please let them take an offensive weapon because this is another team in the NFC East that's defense is shit.
Mm-hmm.
But smart pick, J.C. Horn's on the board. Get somebody you can put beside Darius Slay and lock up that other side of the field.
Mm-hmm.
J.C. Horn's the pick. Christian Darrisaw, Herbert run for his life last year and still put up phenomenal yards, broke the rookie record for touchdowns to interceptions. It's a slam dunk.
I believe that they just recently signed Corey Linsley, one of the best centers in the league, and they signed.
They got Balaga on the right side.
Yeah, they signed him last year, so just
Plug and play Christian Darrisaw on the left side.
Yep.
Minnesota, it's another place that their interior O-line is shit.
The tackle they drafted last year from Boise State ended up playing guard a lot this year.
Yeah, and he needs to go out to tackle because he's not a good guard. Vera Tucker, seamless transition. He can play inside, he can play outside. It's a perfect fit. It helps that offensive line in Minnesota.
He reminds me a lot of Elton Jenkins from my Green Bay Packers. He can play any position on the offensive line except Elton Jenkins can play center. I don't think Elijah Vera Tucker can play center.
Maybe not. I don't know. The Patriots, if none of those receivers fall, if they don't move up, if they steadfast, I got Justin Fields here.
I don't think he falls that far.
I think somebody trades up for him, but this is a mock with no trades, and there was just no teams needed him.
Yeah, that makes sense.
You know,
it's kind of like the Aaron Rodgers thing, just kept falling.
And I think he lands in a perfect situation.
Yep.
Arizona, Greg Newsome, they need secondary. I think Micah Parsons is somebody that Chucky is going to fall in love with. And if he falls to 17, there is no way the Raiders pass on him.
Yeah. That'd be good.
All right. You're the Dolphins. You took Devonta Smith with 6. You got a second first-round pick. This is kind of like a pick you can play with. You can take a chance with it.
Yeah.
And I got them selecting Jalen Phillips. He goes from the U to the Dolphins, same home field. Everything's familiar. I think it's a perfect fit because he don't have to leave home. He can play right there in his backyard, and the Dolphins need edge.
Yeah.
And I think for me, he's the best edge in this class, but there is injury concerns.
That's very true.
I got Tevin Jenkins going to the football team.
I think they're going to be very run heavy next year, especially since Ryan Fitzpatrick's the quarterback. But this team is a team I can see giving a lot of people problems, especially with that elite defense they got, led by Jack Del Rio and Ron Rivera.
Yeah, but until they beat the Giants, I'm not worried about it.
You should be. With that offensive line y'all got, Swiss cheese.
Still dominated them 2 games last year.
Yep.
Chicago Bears, Rashad Bateman. No quarterbacks fell to them. There was nobody I wanted to reach here on the offensive line for. Rashad Bateman sitting there. You get, if Allen Robinson walks next year, Mooney number 1. Rashad Bateman slides right in it too.
I think Rashad Bateman will probably take over the 1 spot.
He very well could. He very
if
well
Allen
could.
Robinson's gone, I'm not saying he's going to take Robinson's job.
He very well could if Robinson walks, which he's not happy with the team right now. I would not be surprised if he walked next year.
Yeah.
I got JOK to the Colts. I would have loved to have given them an offensive lineman, but the same thing as Chicago. There was none worth taking right here. There was none worth reaching for. So they do need linebacker help. They do need safety help. Fill 2 spots with 1 player.
I just don't know who's going to take over for Costanzo if they're not able to get a tackle in the first round.
Well, there's good tackles in the second round. You can get quality in the second round. I'm not reaching with a first-round pick, even in the 20s.
JOK, he's so small. He's like 215.
Yeah, but he's a safety, linebacker hybrid. He's a thumper. He's a less athletic Isaiah Simmons.
I would compare
and I'm not even sure if he's less athletic.
I'd compare him more to Deion Buchanan. They're pretty similar.
With the Titans, they need help. For me, Kwity Paye and Azeez Ojulari, it's kind of, I think Jalen Phillips is the best. This is kind of 2A, 2B.
Mm-hmm.
I think Azeez has more athleticism.
That makes sense.
So I gave him to the Titans. That gave me the edge on the edge. At 23, I didn't want to, just go out there and give them a receiver. They got some decent receivers there. Like I said, there was no offensive lineman. I felt like it would be a reach. So Kwity Paye was sitting there.
Yeah.
Give them some edge help.
Yeah, I think they're going to end up going from 3-4 to a 4-3 this upcoming season. So
and that fits Kwity Paye very well.
Yeah, especially since, that's what Robert Sala ran in San Francisco.
With the Pittsburgh Steelers here.
I wasn't done talking, but okay.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you stopped. Go ahead.
I was yawning, but with them going from a 3-4 to a 4-3, that just suits them very well.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. Are you done now?
Yeah.
With the Pittsburgh Steelers, there was no offensive lineman available. I know I've said that 100 fucking times. I didn't want to reach, and the back issue with Farley. I think he's had 2 or 3 back procedures done, and you can't play football without a back. So I went and gave them a punishing running back, Najee Harris.
They have so many holes. The Pittsburgh Steelers, they looked flawless at the beginning of the season last year. Then they definitely fell
off the map.
Yeah, by a lot.
Jacksonville runs a lot of single high safety. Trayvon Morex, the best safety in this class. At TCU, run a whole lot of single high safety. Bada bing, bada boom. Marriage made in heaven. The Cleveland Browns, Xavier Collins. Why not? Why not help that defense get better? That offense is so good running the ball. They're so efficient passing the ball. Why not help that defense get better? You got Myles Garrett. Now you got Jadeveon Clowney. Now you got Xavier Collins who can play in the linebacker position. Bam.
They definitely need a linebacker.
The only thing is, I think they might want to go D-line here, simply because they just lost Sheldon Richardson to shed cap space. But I like the Saban Collins pick.
With the Baltimore Ravens, they have got to get an X receiver. I think Sammy Watkins is a Band-Aid on a bullet hole.
Yeah.
Terrence Marshall Jr. He can go up, he can get the 50-50 ball. He's got decent speed. He can learn a year behind Sammy Watkins to get better route running. And I think I'm very high on Terrence Marshall Jr. I think he's a great receiver. I think he needs to polish up his route running, and he can be a very steady number one.
Yeah, I like the pick. I think Terrence Marshall could be
Phenomenal in Baltimore.
I see no problems with it.
The Saints, I could have went a lot of different ways here. I was very high on Caleb Farley till all the stuff about his back problems come out. This is another team I could have put Caleb Farley on, but instead I decided to go on and strengthen Christian Barmore. Just, you can never have enough good D linemen to rotate in. And he is just a fucking monster on the interior of the defensive line. He wreaks havoc. I think he had the most quarterback pressures last year in college football. And
we know how them Bama D linemen are.
yeah. With the Green Bay Packers, they desperately need middle linebacker. There was one or two other linebackers higher on this board, the Draft Network, but on my board, I got Nick Bolton as a first round talent. He plugs the holes. He does everything you would want. He's good in coverage.
I just don't like this because I really want.
And you've been talking about him as Caleb Farley. Our corner position is so weak right now outside of Jair Alexander. Kevin King coming back on a one-year deal, and Josh Jackson are just not going to cut it. I feel like that's a much bigger need right now. I have no problem with drafting a linebacker, but Chris Barnes and Kamal Martin did solid last year. So I think that corner is just a bigger need. Try and assess everything else.
Yeah, but do you want to take? I mean, we just had a big debate about a player who never got injured in college.
Yeah.
And you're wanting to take one that has had 2 or 3 back procedures.
It's not just Caleb Farley. It could be any corner. It could be Asante Samuel Jr. I see him as more of a second-round corner. But
Second-round corner. I mean, you don't. The one thing that I go by in the first round is don't reach. Don't go in thinking you have to fill a need. It is best player available.
You think Nick Bolt's best player available here?
At the linebacker position, yes.
But I thought you said not for need, best player available.
This is where best player available and need fit. It works. Because I wasn't going to overdraft Elijah Moore. I wasn't going to overdraft Rondell Moore, a receiver who does have an injury history.
Yeah.
I wasn't going to overdraft corner. You know, I could have went Alex Leatherwood, but they have a solid offensive line.
Yeah, I have no problem with that. Nick Bolton, I like the pick, but corner is such a need right now, and in a pass-heavy league.
If you can't stop the pass, and you can't stop the run, you're just gonna get ran over.
Well, you do what you do with your first round draft. This is mine. And I think Nick Bolton is the best pick that was available on my board.
I think chances are they're going to end up trading up. But.
Well, I mean, I'm not doing trades.
Yeah.
All right. With the Buffalo Bills, all right, I think this is another one where need and best player available come together. And when I say best player available, it might not have been the very top player left on my board, but I go with like 3 to 5. You know, as one falls off, you know, everybody moves up. You know, that top 3 to 5. And right there, I think, you know, out of those positions, it's not a reach. If I got a team that needs an offensive tackle, and you know, I got or corner. All right, if the Packers need a corner, okay, and I got Nick Bolton up here, and I got Asante Samuel Jr. 15 spots down, that's a reach.
Yeah, that's a hit.
But if he was at 5, that's not a reach in my opinion. That's top 5 available. Anyhow, I got Jason Oweh going to the Buffalo Bills. Now, this kid didn't have a sack last year, but he has the most athletic upside out of every edge in this draft. He is, I think so, yes. He is just an athletic freak.
Yeah, I have no problem with the pick here.
With the Kansas City Chiefs, this is the one time I said, screw best player available. Pat Mahomes needs to be protected.
Yeah, we saw in the Super Bowl, he was putting them passes on the money, but he had no time.
I gave them Alex Leatherwood. I said, screw best player available. They need offensive linemen badly. And if this was a 2-round mock, in the second round, it would be offensive linemen too. And I gave Elijah Moore to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Why not throw another weapon out there for Tom Brady? His offensive line was good. He's got everybody coming back. Repeat his own.
Yep. I wouldn't go receiver here, but okay.
All right, Ken, folk, that's all for the podcast tonight. Anything you want to say?
Not really.
Love you. Appreciate the support. Hope you like the podcast. War Damn Eagle.
Warrior.